What are elements? Elements are what makes up matter. Matter is everything around you that takes up space and has mass. It's the food you eat, the water you wash with, and the air you breathe. There are so many things, you might be surprised to learn that matter is just made up of over 100 substances. These substances are called elements. Elements are the substances that cannot be broken down by heat, light, or electricity. Elements come in the form of gases, solids, and liquids. Seen on this page is the gas oxygen, a solid aluminum, and mercury, a liquid. In ancient times, people believed that substances were made up of 4 basic substances. Aristotle was the Greek philosopher who first noted that all substances were made up of air, earth, wind, and fire. Ancient people soon discovered that there were many elements out there, such as gold, iron, copper, silver, mercury, lead, carbon, and sulfur, without knowing they were truly elements. Later, scientists began to recognize them as elements. In the late 1700s, this French chemist, Antoine Laurent Lavoisier, took the elements and created them into a list. At the time, there were only about 60 elements. Dmitry Mendeleev, a Russian scientist, in the late 1800s developed what is now known as the periodic table. Seen on this page is one of the first periodic tables. You will notice that he has elements arranged in columns. These columns house similar properties of elements. You will also notice that he has empty spaces. Those spaces were left to include elements that were not discovered at that time. Here is the present-day periodic table. There are 118 elements on this table. These elements are located or are organized in columns or groups with similar properties. Some periodic tables are also color-coded to identify metals, nonmetals, and artificially made elements. Here are some examples of metals and nonmetals that we use in our everyday lives. Metals are any element that can conduct heat or electricity easily. It's able to be reshaped using a hammer, and it is shiny. A nonmetal is something that breaks easily. It is dull in color, and it does not conduct heat or electricity. Each of these elements found on the periodic table have what we call an atomic number. It is usually found at the top of the box in either the right or left-hand corner. This number represents the number of protons and electrons found in each element atom. The big letters in the center are known as the element symbol. The single letter or first letter is always capitalized. This distinguishes one element from another. If an element has 2 letters, the first letter is capitalized and the second letter is in lowercase. And finally, at the bottom of the square is the element name. The last part of our lesson will deal with atoms. In the top right corner, you will see the way atoms are traditionally displayed in drawings. An atom is made up of 3 different parts. In the outer shell, which are red, are the electrons. They have a negative electric charge. The electrons are able to come and go from an atom. The protons found in the center of the atom, blue in this case, have a positive electric charge. The proton is what's responsible for bringing that electron back to an atom. The neutron is also found in the center of the atom, and it has a neutral electric charge, which means it has no charge. The protons and the electrons never leave the center portion of the atom. The center portion is known as the nucleus. It is the part that controls the rest of the atom, and it is responsible for bringing the electrons back to the atom. I hope you enjoyed our lesson on elements.